everyone. Today we will learn about arbitration, mainly about its meaning, procedures, and arbitration clauses of a contract. First, the meaning and characteristics of arbitration. Arbitration, also known as umpirage, refers to the situation when two parties to a dispute, either before or after it arises, they sign a written agreement to voluntarily submit the dispute to a mutually agreed third party for a decision. It is a way to resolve the dispute. Its characteristics are as follows. Arbitral tribunals do not have compulsory jurisdiction. Arbitration agreements will be signed. Arbitration procedures are simple. The dispute will also be resolved promptly and timely, with lower costs compared to litigation. Arbitration should be final and conclusive. The form of arbitration agreements. Signing arbitration clauses in contracts. Submitting the arbitration agreement. Condition precedent to performance. According to Chinese laws, an arbitration agreement must meet the following requirements. Express the intention to request arbitration. Select a designated arbitration commission. Agree on the matter subject to arbitration. The arbitration matters must be qualified for being arbitrated according to the law. Must be in the form of written agreement. Parties to the agreement must have the legal capacity to sign the arbitration agreement. The form and content of the agreement must be legal. Otherwise, according to Chinese law, the arbitration agreement is invalid. Next, let's look at the arbitration clauses in a contract. Provision on the seat of arbitration. In China's import and export contracts, there are three ways to determine the arbitration seat. First, striving to submit the arbitration in China. Second, sometimes submit the arbitration in the country of the domicile of the defendant. Third, submit the arbitration in a third country agreed upon by both parties. If the third way is chosen, an arbitration institution that allows both parties are not citizens of the third country should be selected. In addition, the selected institution should possess professional competence and judicial justice. Arbitration institutions in different countries has its own arbitration rules. However, it is worth noting that the adopted arbitration rules are not absolutely aligned with the rules of the arbitration venue. According to the general practice of international arbitration, in principle, the rules of the arbitration where it is submitted should be adopted. However, legally, it is also permissible to adopt the arbitration rules of institutions in other country or region, based on the agreement of the parties involved. The legal validity of an arbitration award mainly refers to whether the award rendered by the arbitration tribunal is binding on the parties involved, whether it is final and conclusive, and whether it can be challenged in court for modification. In order to emphasize and clarify the validity of an arbitration award for facilitating its enforcement, arbitration clauses will often stipulate that the arbitration award is final and conclusive and binding on both parties. The responsibility for the arbitration fees is usually stipulated in the arbitration clauses, explicitly stating who bears the expenses for arbitration. Generally speaking, it should be borne by the losing party. However, the arbitration tribunal may have a discretion to decide which party bears the expenses. There are various ways to resolve disputes, and arbitration is just one of them. What is the procedure of arbitration? It typically starts with an amicable negotiation, followed by mediation, arbitration, and litigation. It includes submitting an application, holding a tribunal session, conducting case hearings, and rendering award. Since you have learned all the key points, we prepared some questions for you. Please think about the answers carefully. Thank you for listening.